Welcome to this amazing interview with Peter Schawaker. Welcome, dear Peter. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Glad to be here.
I would love to know, how do you introduce yourself? Who are you?
Yeah, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Nearshore Cyber. We are based in Oaxaca, Mexico, to the south. We're also incorporated in the United States in the state of New Hampshire. And I've been in cybersecurity for 26 years, IT a little more than that. And yeah,
What do you love about your job?
I get to help a lot of people.
Doing what? I know cybersecurity, but you love, what do you
Well,
bring to the table?
there are things that we do explicitly for money, including staffing, recruiting, consulting, advising, things like that. We deliver projects sometimes. But we decided early on that instead of doing traditional marketing, we would teach and organize events for people. People could get together and get to know each other and build relationships. And there was coaching and all sorts of stuff. And we do it all for free. And it works. It works beautifully. So there is what looks like a nonprofit, looks like an NGO. It's not. It's just my marketing arm. But everyone knows it, and everyone understands that it's there to build the Nearshore Cyber brand, because no one knew us when we started this in Mexico 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. And so we've made a lot of friends, and we've helped a lot of people, and now they're helping each other, and that makes me very happy.
Wow, congratulations. Which is your target?
My target?
Yeah.
I have, well, the very big target will take longer than I will be alive. I have a 100-year plan to flatten the global cybersecurity labor market. For example, someone who does a certain job in, I don't know, Nairobi, and a person doing exactly the same job in Chicago or Mexico City or Tokyo should all be paid the same, because they're delivering the same value, and we're part of a global economy and an increasingly, I hope, integrated sort of system of cultures and economics and technology. And there is no reason that people shouldn't be compensated fairly, and so that I don't want people to have to move to make more money, right?
Okay. Yeah. And what does success means to you?
Well, on that very long-term project, it means exactly what I said. People's compensation is identical no matter where they are in the world for the same work. In the near term, success is being able to build Nearshore Cyber as a business and as a community around it, that I can take a vacation and I can come back and know it's better. And I think we're on our way. I think we'll be there in a year. But I'm a compulsive entrepreneur. I always want to start something. And my approach is always to involve as many people in it as possible so that they can benefit from it. I'm not one of these pay it forward, pay back people. The good that I get to do, and it is a privilege to be able to do what I do, I'm compensated for just for the sheer pleasure of it, for the experience of it. And it's not always easy. I give people really bad news sometimes. Like I interview people and say, you don't belong in cybersecurity. You should leave. You're not going to be happy here. A couple of times a day, I have to tell people that they're in the wrong career. And then I find people who are really dedicated to the craft of cybersecurity, who are really passionate about it, who are helping their friends learn, who are inventing on their own. And I get to help them stay and grow and develop. And we build together. And it's pure pleasure.
How do you feed your passion?
I feel it physically. I feel it in, I feel it the way I breathe and the way I sit up and the way my shoulders come back. I feel it in terms of all emotion is in the body. It's the endocrine system, it's breath. Um, and, I know that I'm experiencing like the passion for the work when um, I feel a certain expansiveness and joy. If there's some level of joy, even if the work is hard, um, there is a feeling behind all of it that gives me the sense that what I'm doing right now could survive me.
Transcend.
Yeah.
Transcendation.
Well, no, transcend, but outlive. Right. I'm working on something that will keep going, I hope, after I'm dead. That to
Okay.
me, what was it? Banksy is credited or is credited as saying something like, "A man dies twice. One when his body dies, and then the second time when the last person utters his name." And I also saw that in Oaxaca. It was over Panteon. So I don't think Banksy actually said this first. But to me, it's just like the Greeks said. They said you can live a safe, quiet, easy life and be forgotten, or you can live a life of strife and drama and and struggle and have the bards sing about you for thousands of years. Like you don't really get to choose exactly. I landed in the situation and I decided to take advantage of what was given to me. And some very, very good luck, I guess you could call it. Um, but I mean, I have a different sort of sense of history than most people do. I'm lucky that way. And I take advantage of it.
Do you believe in luck? Good luck?
No,
Successful, we
no,
need
it's a
luck.
luck is a figure of speech. I don't actually believe in it. Now, there's randomness, there's chance, there is probability, but it's extremely improbable that any of us are here right now the way we are. Like if you go back to before you were born, before I was born, and you try to calculate the odds of us sitting here on a Zoom session right now, I don't even know where you are in the world. You could be anywhere. I am truly in Oaxaca, but I mean, like, this is so incredibly infinitesimally improbable that this would be happening right now. Um, it doesn't rise to the level of luck. It's absurd, and it is good. Maybe there's grace. Let's call it grace.
Okay. But again, to be successful, to be happy in life, not just to have money, to have joy and
Mm-hmm.
stability, what do you think is the path to achieve that in your experience?
Well, let me first talk about what propels us and pulls us forward. The path reveals itself as we start to walk it. There are two things that motivate me: fear and love. Nothing else. That's all there is for me. Fear not for me. I mean, sometimes it's fear for me, but usually it's fear for the people I love, that I care about. Um, I was talking to a friend today um, who told me that his wife is dying. And um, and that knowing that enriches my life. And knowing that he would entrust me with that or that experience is beyond all value. And so I work for that, and for him and for her, and knowing that someday I'll be gone, and all the people who have helped me and who help me now. And in the end, to answer your question in another way, I hope the people will come to my funeral and say to my daughter, "Your Bobby was a good man. He helped a lot of people." And that's enough. There'll be money. Money shows up. Money is just oxygen. Without it, we cannot breathe. With it, we can run, we can play, we can work, we can enjoy whatever's around. Money's helpful. Um, but in the end, it doesn't much matter. I've been happy with nothing.
Yeah. How is a regular day in your life? Which habits do you have to take care of your mind, your body, your emotions, your creativity? How do you take care in that?
I'm aggressively calendar oriented. So
Wow.
I believe in I am lazy and undisciplined myself. Like without any tools, without any techniques, I will basically blow off anything difficult. So what I do is I have certain masters. One of them is a calendar. So I put things on my calendar that need to get done, and then I just do what the calendar tells me to do. I don't have to decide.
Mm-hmm.
I have a habit in the morning where my phone alarm goes off at 15 minutes before I have to get up, and I take 200 milligram tablet of caffeine, which is basically like a wee cup of coffee, and I have water, drink the tablet, and about 10 minutes later, my blood pressure comes up. I'm ready to go. I don't decide. I just do it. And it's easier on the stomach, right? Um, I used to, when I lived in Denver, I had a great gym and I would like drive to the gym no matter what, 6 days a week. Monday, I would see my trainer. Friday, I would see my massage therapist. So I had these two sets of agreements. One was that I would show up on Monday on time and do what this guy told me to do. I paid him to to help me maintain accountability. I was accountable to him, right? To go. And then I would keep going all week. And if I was sick, I would still go to the gym. I might go to the gym, get out of the car, go use the restroom in the locker room, go back to my car and drive home and go to bed. But I went to the gym because once I'm in the gym, well, there's equipment there. And every gym is basically like a playground for adults. They're just
Uh-huh.
toys, right? And I would play with the equipment and play with whatever this body does. And it was easy. Friday, I would see Jenna. Jenna was my massage therapist. Jenna loved working with me because I have a very high pain tolerance, and really good massage therapists, like the serious ones, love to work muscles hard. And
Yeah,
we would run experiments. It was fun and it hurt, but I never had to stretch. So, but if I wasn't ready to be worked on and have like knotted muscles, Jenna was disappointed.
yeah.
And I admired her certain knowledge of the body and my body that she acquired. Like she knew how all my muscles and tendons and all that stuff worked and taught me about them. She told me to buy a book. I bought a book and she would point at the thing. She's like, I'm going to work on your IT band here. And we talk about it. It was great fun. So that's one of the other things I do is I try and enjoy everything I do. I'm having a great time talking to you right now. We've never met. And I'm enjoying this conversation. And that's a matter of choice. I'm also nervous. I'm anxious. What do I do with the anxiety? Energy for you, for this, for the people who are watching this. Energy, which fear is just energy. That's all it is. And if I can direct it into the conversation, better. Love shows up. Love for the audience, love for myself, love for you. We just met, right? Love is about action, and it's a kind of ethic. I think of love in the bell hooks sense. Eric Fromm, bell hooks. Love is about what you do, not just a feeling. It's not some sentimental thing. It can be, pretty poems and flowers are very nice, but that's just the appearance of love. That's nice, but love is things like um, showing up and keeping my mouth shut sometimes, and sometimes it's doing nothing. That can be an act of love. Sometimes it is like making sure that I put the toilet seat down when I'm done. That is an act of love. Showing up on time, being on time is a very important act of love, right? Um, Not complaining when somebody else is not on time. Another one. So love and fear, nothing left to play with. No other toys in the toy box.
Agree 100% with you. Coming back to business, um, I hear that time is very important for you. You try to have habits for productivity. However, many of us lack sometimes motivation or habits How can we go through procrastination?
Well, let's be careful. Let's be clear about something. I've been talking about business this entire time,
Okay.
right? Integrating the personal and the professional at a certain level
Uh-huh.
is essential. I mean, it's called integrity, meaning things are integrated.
Uh-huh.
And if they're not integrated, you lack integrity. Usually that turns into dishonesty with yourself and then with others. That's another habit, right? And that's about misdirection of fear, fear in the wrong spot. Now, we're all like, no one is 100% honest. Like, we're all lying all the time about something. Um, but, we do what we can. Um, Now, as for procrastination, I don't think that procrastination is necessarily a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Procrastination, to me, much of the time, is a signal from my unconscious saying, we're still working on this. Be patient. Procrastination is a problem, becomes a problem when you become impatient with yourself and try and push through. Like, I know people who go to art school, who attend universities to study art, are forced to be creative on demand.
Mm-hmm.
Creativity doesn't really work that well when you force it. Sometimes it's available, sometimes it's not. Artists learn tricks, gimmicks. They come up, they find ways to be creative enough, but are they really creating? Well, sometimes you just have to do the job. Sometimes you have to produce the work and you reuse material. And that's fine. You have to get paid. Um, but there are projects that I start and I might work on really hard and be really excited about, and I get bored, and I don't chastise or punish myself for that, for putting something down. If I never come back to it, that's fine. Maybe it's not for me. But if there's a part of my subconscious that is still working on it, and then it'll just come to me. It's like, there it is. Or I might see something that sparks some kind of inspiration. I'm like, that thing I worked on 3 years ago. Now it's time. Now it is time. So I just kind of let the world bring these things to me, right? Ordinary things, nothing extraordinary. And this is another thing. So much of what we get hung up on is simply ego and thinking that we're more important than we are. I'm an ordinary person of no status.
Which is your philosophy? Philosophy in life, philosophy in business, philosophy as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm eclectic. I mean,
Uh-huh. Define
on
eclectic for everyone.
sorry.
Will you define eclectic for everyone?
Combination of many things assembled together, maybe not always assembled so well. I mean, part of me is I'm you know, by profession, I'm a capitalist, or
Okay.
trying to be. I'm trying to accumulate capital, you know. On the other hand, it's somebody, I forget what it said. Um, my mind is capitalist, my heart is anarchist. Or no, my mind is communist, my heart is anarchist. Alas, my stomach is capitalist. So we all have these sort of contradictory things in us. Part of me, I'm really interested in the Dharma and Buddhism, and I've done a lot of sort of Vipassana meditation and that great stuff. I was raised in the arts. My parents were musicians. My dad, an English professor. Um, but as for philosophies, there was an essay by, uh, uh, I once wrote called the Poverty of Philosophy. It was a response to an essay called the Philosophy of Poverty. And I'm a dialectic materialist in a way, and I'm of course talking about Marx. But if you want to understand how capitalism works, read the read the book you wrote on Capital, Volume 1, chapters 1, 2, and 3 will change the way you do business. Taught me a lot about actually how to make money, but it also taught me that we are in a system that has inherent contradictions, is cruel, is mindless, and that those who are of us who who want to not be cruel and who want to think and be caring have to defy that system in some ways. Me, I am what I call a business hacker. A hacker is someone who wants to understand the system from the inside, from every angle, every perspective, and find ways that it can be operated and used that are beyond what its designers or normal users do. So we usually think of computer hackers, network hackers. I'm a business hacker.
How do you manage to do that?
I work hard. I work a lot. And I watch and I ask lots of questions. And I don't like being told what to do. I was a complete failure in school. I thought I would go to college and I would somehow succeed because maybe I wasn't challenged enough. Um, People had me convinced I was smarter than my teachers. That simply wasn't true. I just didn't care about what they wanted me to care about.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, university didn't work out. I decided that I needed to learn in different ways, and I've met people who at work and in the world who I did want to learn from, and some of them helped, but mostly I watched, and I would find people who seemed to have what I wanted, and I would try and be like them, and learn how they learn. So I would ask not just what do you do now, but what did you do when you were learning? I didn't have mentors. I don't believe in mentors. There are people who call me a mentor. I'm not a mentor. I'm sometimes an advisor. I'd rather be a friend. I have
Mm-hmm.
lots of friends who call me a mentor, but I don't know what a mentor is exactly. Actually, you know, I used to have one. I paid him. My employer paid for him. He cost $600 an hour as an executive mentor. I'm not a mentor, you know.
That's very interesting. Um, do you mind sharing with us a low point in business for you?
Oh God, there are low points every day. Um, you know, the last year was very difficult in terms of selling.
Okay.
We work really hard, and the core of our business was supposed to be staffing or recruiting. So, as a professional in the cybersecurity industry, I came to the recruiting business wanting to deliver services like what were delivered to me. Like there were
Uh-huh.
recruiters who were really good. I admired them, and they understood my business, and they would anticipate what I would need, and they would bring me people before I knew that I needed them. And so I had these really wonderful partnerships with vendors. And I always treat the my vendors, contractors and suppliers as partners. Like they're part of my company. They're part of my business community. And I take care of them. Um, But last year was really, really bad. The cybersecurity labor market was the, I mean, the fourth quarter of 2023 was the worst quarter of any quarter of my entire career. And Q4 is supposed to be the best quarter, and it was awful. So it got to the point where I actually did a GoFundMe just to pay rent. And something really interesting happened. I didn't get any GoFundMe money. People started wiring me cash. They started sending me money and in large amounts. And 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 I would ask why, and they said, well, we have it. And you're giving things away all the time, training, education, coaching. It's like you're doing all this. We need you to keep going. And there wasn't any, you'll pay me back later. It was, we believe in what you're doing. And if you have to like close Nearshore Cyber and go get a job and like move back to New York, that all ends. Um, so, you know, I'm going to pay it back, right? But no one asked me to. And yeah, the community rises if you feed it. So our business strategy has been,
Again.
yeah,
Community rises.
the community rises to help if you feed it, if you cultivate it, if you protect it, if you don't try and own it. I do not own my community. No one owns my community. No one. People try. and they find the community rejects them. They're not interested. But it all works because I know what I am. It works because I'm an ordinary person of no status. People give me titles. I don't care. People want to put me on boards. No, most of the time, no, unless you pay me. Sure, I'll take a title if you pay me, but I don't want that. The cost is too great. I don't particularly like the title CEO, but you have to have a title, and I happen to be the chief executive officer. But it's not a useful thing other than that.
What's your biggest challenge right now?
Sleep.
Finding time to sleep?
Oh yeah, yeah. But it's, it'll pass. We're working through it. Too many ideas. Being strategic is about saying no.
Uh-huh.
And I'm learning that no is not necessarily no, but rather not yet, someday. But it works because I know that someday can be after I'm gone.
Okay.
I might die tomorrow. I might die in 100 years. The
Mhm.
rate of technological progress in medicine, in healthcare is so great that I may have 200 years more. I don't know. But life extends more and more and more. AI changes a lot of that, and there's a lot happening in terms of biomedical advances. But again, I might die. I might die tomorrow. So I need to leave something today. My legacy has to happen every day.
How do we relate that to stress? Stress is very frequent feeling nowadays. Stress is very draining our energy and happiness as business people every day. How do you manage stress? How you
Yeah.
can tell us about stress?
Stress is not one thing. There are many kinds of stress. There's physical stress, there's mental stress, there is uh, um, the stress that we have on our joints and our muscles. Like when I go to the gym, I stress the muscles to break them down, and then I rest, and then 2 days later, the muscle's stronger. I go back and I do it again. We need stress. Stress is about resistance, right? And if there's no resistance, then there is no progress. So it's a matter of finding the sort of it's what we would call an optimization function. We're looking for the optimal amounts of stress in certain areas at certain times. And the problem with stress is because there are many types, but we call it one word. It's like what we do in meditation. So when you're on the meditation cushion and you're just noticing feelings, the pressure of your body on the cushion, and like, oh, like my hip itches, and like suddenly all these things you don't notice distract you like crazy, and that's stress. You're doing nothing on a cushion, and you experience different kinds of stress than you're normally noticing.
Yeah.
And so the answer is notice it. And the other thing that I do is I don't punish myself.
Okay.
People are always punishing themselves. This is one thing that I think is really sad about Mexico, is the church and everybody else tells you that you're a piece of shit and you deserve to burn in the fires of hell forever.
The very
Right?
sad.
Yeah, I mean, you look at up at the front of the churches, and like that is the son of God, and look what God did to him. They hung him up there like a slab of meat, and you deserve worse than that. Please.
Do you believe
That's
in
not.
God?
I don't even know what people mean by God. What do you mean by God? I can't
No,
even
no.
answer the question.
I'm guessing. I think that you're a very profound person, a very spiritual person, not religion, or more like a spiritual person. So I'm curious, how do you define your spirituality?
I don't. I don't know what spirituality means. I don't know what God means. Before I can answer, in order to answer the question, does X exist, I must have some description of X that is coherent.
Okay.
I've never heard one. I've asked, like, what I used to say that I believed in something called God, and I realized I don't even know what I'm saying.
So you live trying to be coherent in your mind, your words, your feelings, your actions.
I want to have. I want to be a.
Concept.
I want to be a person who has integrity. Therefore, I seek integrity. I want to be a person. I want to be a good person. So I do what a good person does. What I think. Like my morality is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
I have an image of what I think I am. I want to believe that I am, and I behave of like a person who is those things. If I think I'm a kind person, well, what would a kind person do? It's really easy. It's really easy.
I love that. When I want to make some transformations in my life, I define my identity, and then it's
Yes.
very easy to behave in that line, or
Yeah.
as a
Well, and
discipline,
yeah,
or good person, or whatever you want, to patience or product.
yeah. I want to
Anyway,
be considered a hard worker, so I work hard.
me too.
I want to
Me
be I want to be I want to be considered generous by me. What other people think is fine. I want to consider myself a generous person. Therefore, I must act in ways that a generous person would. Simple.
Peter, this has been such a different conversation. I enjoy it so much. But before we leave, do you have any words or message do you want to leave for the people that are hearing us or will hear us?
Yeah. Doubt everything you're told.
Question or pause?
Doubt. Well, okay. In Spanish, we have this term dudar, which in English means to doubt, which is to question the truth of something or the fact, like whether something is factual. It's different from preguntar. Preguntar and dudar are not the same. They
Cuestionar.
translate
In
well.
Spanish would be cuestionar.
Questionar. Oh, yeah, there we go. So questionar. But yeah, question everything and do so like a child. Let me live. Do you have enough time? I can give you an example.
Please.
All right. So my 9-year-old stepdaughter, who refuses to speak English, by the way. She's like, soy mexicana, hablo español, no inglés.
I love her.
She's great. She's so funny. She has a computer, and all she does is watch YouTube videos, which is fine. But I sat her down in front of ChatGPT, and I showed her a couple of things. I wanted to see how she would use it, and few prompts. She thought it was amused. She was using DALL-E to make pictures. Great. So I left, and I came back later after she was gone, and I looked at her history, and one thing she had entered was, and this is in Spanish, but she wrote, "What if you combine toothpaste and mustard?" And that was her prompt. That was her question to this incredibly advanced technology. I'm like, mostaza y pasta de dientes. Yeah, I'm like, that's it. Like, that's how we should be approaching life. These are the kinds of questions that a 9-year-old thinks nothing of. And we adults are like, well, I mean, I thought I'm like thrilled. But most adults would say, oh, that's a waste of time. Why? What's the value in that? I'm like, the question of what happens when you combine toothpaste and mustard is like the key to the fucking universe, because it points in the direction of questioning in a way that's like pure and joyful.
Love it.
So that's it. That's what I got. That's my advice. Be like my 9-year-old.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So you ask such wonderful questions.
This has been such an amazing interview. I send a big hug in gratitude to you, your stepdaughter, and your partner. Thank you so much.
Thank you.